And so with that, if it's all right with you, we'll go ahead and get started.
Let's do it.
Why don't we start if you could tell us a little bit about your background, where you're from, and what you do.
I have 3 children, 2 girls and a boy, and I'm within 18 months of being an empty nester.
And so we're here today to talk about your journey with multiple sclerosis and with Parkinson's disease. Um, we'll start from when you first might have noticed that you had a few symptoms and maybe realized that you needed to seek some help.
Well, it was July of 2014. One morning I was making breakfast and I went to stick my hand in a bowl of eggs to scramble them up, and my hand wouldn't move, wouldn't whip the eggs. And my wife walked out about that time and said, "What's wrong?" And I started to lie to her and tell her nothing was wrong. And she said, "Don't you dare lie to me." And I said, "My hand won't work." And so I went to my general practitioner within a week and had x-rays and all that kind of stuff. And he set me down and said, "Well, I'm not sure what it was. What it is." He says, "I don't think it's neuroskeletal. And I'm going to send you to a neurologist." And I said, "Well, what could it be?" And he said, "Well, it could be a pinched nerve. It could be a brain tumor. It could be MS. It could be Parkinson's disease." He says, "I don't know." He said, "We'll find out." And he started to walk out of the room. And I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. You can't drop that on me and just walk out of the room." And he was a great man, Dr. Bogus. And he came back in and he sat down for a half an hour. We talked about what the process was going to be and to find out and that everything was going to be okay. So I went to a neurologist in early July of 2014 and went through a series of tests, did a couple, 3 MRIs, did a lumbar puncture, all those kinds of things. And then on Christmas Eve of 2014, I got on my bicycle at 7 o'clock in the morning and rode the 5 miles on a frosty morning to my neurologist to get my diagnosis. And I remember vividly writing on the way there thinking, am I going to tell my family before Christmas or after Christmas that I got a brain tumor and I'm going to die? And so I went to the doctor and he told me I had MS. I didn't have a brain tumor, which was a great relief, and that there was medications. And then we started down the path of finding out medications, and he put me on Tecfidera, which seemed to help and make things better. And I went along for a couple, 3 years with my having some impairment in my left hand and my dexterity, but nothing got progressively worse as far as balance and other things. And then about 3 years in and 23 years later, so 2018, I started having problems with balance, with my gait. I had brain fog. I couldn't, my hand got worse and worse, and I started dragging my leg and those kind of things. I couldn't dress myself. And we went on vacation to Phoenix, Arizona. And at the end of our vacation, one day I couldn't get under the covers. I couldn't manipulate myself to get under the covers. And I freaked out and had anxiety and walked around all night, the hotel that we were in, and managed to get home and went to my neurologist. And he said, well, he said, let me try these drugs. And he tried different drugs on me. And we went through that for a couple, 3 months. And I precipitously went downhill. I got to the point where I couldn't drive. I couldn't dress myself. I couldn't function. I got severely depressed, which I'd never had in my life before, and got bad anxiety. And one day my wife and I went to my existing neurologist and said, I told him, I said, I'm depressed and I don't think about hurting myself, but I think about if this is all there is to life and this is how I'm going to be, is it really worth living? What should I do? And he gave me the 800 number to the county health department suicide line. And that made my wife very mad. And she grabbed my hand and drugged me out and took me to another neurologist. And we sat in the lobby for 4 hours until they could see us. And I have a great neurologist now that she told me, she says, I think you might have Parkinson's disease too. And so we went through a diagnosis process of that. She put me on a great drug, which is the gold standard, called Sinemet, or Carbidopa-Levidopa is its scientific name. And I've been improving ever since, to the point where I water ski, I ride my bike, I snow ski, I walk 6 miles every day. I played 149 rounds of golf last year, and I'm much better. And so it's not a death sentence. You just have to find the right way to treat your disease. Because one of the most important things for MS and for Parkinson's disease in particular, because there's really no drug to slow the symptoms, you're just treating the symptoms. Exercise has been found to be the #1 thing.
What advice do you have for others dealing with the newness of MS, and what hope and inspiration can you provide to them?
Well, the first thing I'd say is, when you get a diagnosis, it's very easy to go to a very dark place. You know, you're going to the worst thing you've ever seen on TV or in the movies, which the movies dramatize these kind of things. And like I tell people all the time, MS is not a death sentence. Parkinson's disease, you don't die of Parkinson's disease, you die with Parkinson's. And it's not a death sentence either. Medicine is important on both sides, as far as slowing MS and actually stopping the progression of MS. They have drugs for that. That's what Rituxan and Tecfidera is. And on the PD side, we can treat the symptoms with Sinemet, and there's deep brain surgery stimulation that goes with it. And so there's lots of things that can help and improve your quality of life. So don't freak out, and just try to take the system day by day. My wife's been a rock in all of it. For my kids, it's funny. Each one of them has been different. My oldest has the same warped sense of humor that I do. And so she bought me, because of my shake, she bought me a Chihuahua t-shirt for Christmas. It says, "I have Parkinson's disease." And so we make jokes about it and laugh about it all the time. My middle daughter has been my caretaker, who wants to make sure dad's okay and everything's all done, but we have great communication. My teenage son, he's just like, "Well, that's dad, and now I can whoop him earlier than I thought I was going to be able to whoop him," so we'll go from there.
So Troy, we're at the end of our time today, but I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate you sharing your story and your journey. Congratulations again. It sounds like you're living a great life in spite of what you've had to deal with, and that you have the love and support of a wonderful family. And I wish you all the best moving forward. And I'd love to stay in touch. So thank you so much.
Well, I'd love to stay in touch too, and anything I can do to help you, let me know. And this has been a great experience for me. Have a great day in Seattle.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a beautiful day. Thank you. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.